Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Uncommon Sense with Jose Negro. First of all, I just want to apologize for the late start. I was just having some technical difficulties beyond my control. Normally, I do try to start on time. Unfortunately, I had to take care of some issues. But in any case, we are live now. Um, so I just want to let everybody know, for the benefit of all those who are not familiar with the channel or watching this channel for the very first time, the reason why it is called Uncommon Sense, because here on this platform, we talk about everyday issues where we try to find logical solutions, but not everyone uses logic. So for that reason, it is called Uncommon Sense. I just want to let everybody know that we're currently live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. As always, I want to give a huge shout out to all those who have subscribed to my channel. I also want to give a huge shout out to those of you who will allow me to enter into your devices. Hopefully, other people will join in later on. Um, Also, I want to give a huge shout out to all those who follow me on social media. So, I just want to let everybody know that if you have not done so, please subscribe, like, and hit the bell notification to all. So, therefore, whenever I do prepare content, you will have the opportunity to catch it live or get it live or catch it on the playback. Now, I do want to let everybody know that the function, no, the subscriber mode function is on, meaning should anyone who is not a subscriber wishes to enter a comment, they will need to subscribe to the channel. Okay. So, and again, the whole point of this is lately I've been dealing with issues with some of the trolls. So this is an attempt to try to control that. Okay. I do hope that if you're not done so, please subscribe, like, and hit the bell notification to on. Now, before I get into the topic, there's gonna be there might be a slight change in regards to Saturday's stream. It is scheduled for 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Um, I might have to change that depending what my situation is because I'm gonna keep it 1,000. I put in the work overtime to to earn some extra money. After the holidays is coming around, so of course we like to have a little extra money in the books. Um, so by tomorrow, um, I should know whether we're going to continue with um, our stream at its regular schedule time at 5 p.m. or if I have to push it to a later date or switch it to Sunday because I don't want it to conflict with Kisha's channel, which is KFit Now. I do support her platform and I also support other people's platforms. Now, I see there's two people watching this stream. I just want to say thank you very much. And again, hopefully other people will catch the stream. So what we're going to do without delaying it any further, we're going to get into the main topic. And I see here we we have a guest. So before I let my guest in, I'm just going to state the disclaimer. The views of those who appear on the panel are not necessarily those of the host of the channel. Any attempt to copy the material without the consent of the host or the channel is prohibited. By appearing on the call, you waive your rights to your image on the channel. Some of the views that people may hold may be considered offensive to some viewers. If you do not like the content, you can block the channel. And now I'm going to bring in my guest.
Hi, how you doing?
Okay.
I'm good.
Good
How you doing,
evening.
don?
¿Cómo está?
Good. Yo bien, Don Jose.
Okay. Okay. Me alegro. Again, I apologize. It's just that I had to start my stream late due to some technical difficulties beyond my control. Okay. Because
I
originally it
understand.
was because originally I was planning for 8 o'clock, and usually I'm very good when it comes to starting on time. It's just that unfortunately tonight was that rare exception. Let me just
Well,
bring you up to speed regarding the topic for tonight. The topic is what are what are your deal breakers, and this is within the concept of relationships. Now I know that you are married, but I'm sure when
yes.
you were single, you had certain deal breakers as it comes to relationships, okay, and comes to dating. Would you like to share with the audience what some of those deal breakers were in the past?
All right. One of them, if a female did not shave. The second deal breaker was if I could have a 5 minute conversation with a female, and within those 5 minutes of a conversation, she always curses to express herself. That was a deal breaker.
Uh
Number
huh.
three, if you're too pushy and you do not know me yet, and you want to try to control me in the beginning, it's not going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Number four is to try to tell me what to do and everything like that. And if you do not respect my family or anything, that's number four. And number
Mm-hmm.
five, as far as the relation, as one thing that I could say, um, I respect all faiths or and everything like that, but at the end, the woman had to be a Christian because if we if we date and everything like that, and then on top of it, our religious views is not going hand to hand or anything like that. Sometimes I'm not saying all, but it actually causes friction.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So those are my deal breakers. Were my deal breakers.
Okay. Well, I have, of course, I have some deal breakers of my own, which is number one, if she's not honest.
Right.
Okay. I cannot stand people who are not honest, who are not who do not explain themselves as in the situation. Number one. Number two, I cannot stand um if you are with me and then you're with two, three other guys. Okay, if you want to like um ride
Be a
the
swinger.
ride the cruise the rooster route crawl, crawl, what have you, fine, you can do that. Don't get into a relationship with me. Okay.
Right.
uh I can't stand someone that's too clingy. Okay. Now
Right.
let me now let me give you a perfect example. Years ago, when I was much younger, okay,
All right.
like in my early 20s, okay, I was engaged to someone who every time she saw me speaking with a female, she would swear up and down that I was sleeping with that female,
So that's my life story.
which is like, do you know how much action I would be getting if that was the case? I mean, it's like,
Yo.
what? Why am I Casanova?
Yo, Dad, I know I know exactly what you're feeling because I was through a similar situation like that when I was dating my ex for of 7 years. And I guess she had well, she had issues. But one of the issues is, I guess, because they say that Dominican were not the best, as in relationships, because our because they say that Dominican men cheat and all this other
Hmm.
stuff. But yet,
Yeah.
it was funny because this, like my ex had friends, right, that went up and they
Yeah.
cheated on their females and stuff, and she didn't
Yes.
say nothing. But yet, when she sees me, she was accusing me of all cheating and everything like that just because of my ethnicity, that I'm a Dominican.
Hmm.
And after a while, it just got tiring, and I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna cheat on you. I'm gonna break up with you because at the end of the day, the ex started being disrespectful towards my family, and everything like that, just because she thought that I have a whole bunch of female cousins, and she thought that they were trying to get with me. When the fact is, I told them they were my cousins, and he was like, "Oh, you're lying." I'm like, "No, I had to actually show receipt. I'm like, yeah, this person's related to me. Chill with that." And it got to the point that I'm like, I didn't even want to take her around my family anymore. You know what I'm saying? So it just got to the point that I just had to end that relationship. And we was, I guess, tight, cool when it was 2013, the year that my mother passed. But
Hmm.
it was like to the point that it was like, okay, well, we broke it up, so you could just pass on that. You know what I'm saying? So I was um I was like in situations, many relationships from then out and stuff, and then I met my current wife in 2014. Me and her were internet friends before, and we
Hmm.
started a relationship. And 8 years later, I'm a married man.
Okay. Um, Don Armando, isn't recently that this week was her birthday?
Actually, today is.
Okay. Well, first of all, I just want to say happy birthday to Don Armando's better half, or felicidades a la media naranja de Don Armando. Muchas felicidades para usted y me alegro que hoy tú estás celebrando su cumpleaños.
I'll tell her that because even people in my job would tell me, who are all on my Facebook, they were saying like "Happy birthday to your wife" and everything like that. So I was like, "Hey, thank God that she made another year."
That is so true. Oh,
Yeah.
I was married. I was married myself for 2 years. Now, unfortunately, I had to divorce my ex-wife because she was a major trouble. In fact, she actually had the nerve to call and speak and ask my mother if I had someone on the side.
Mm.
Now,
Okay.
now,
Well,
okay, go
well,
ahead.
w- all right. What ethnicity was she? I mean, I know she might have been. Was she Puerto Rican? Was she European? Was she white? Was she Italian?
She
I'm
was
just saying.
Dominican.
Oh wow.
Okay, but let me make this perfectly clear. Not all Dominican women are like my ex.
I know that because you got Dominican women who are nice, and then you got Dominican women who are ignorant. Like some of them are haters, which I'm not going to name because, you know, she's just disgusting. But you get what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, but I mean, look. First of all, if you're suspected that I'm fooling around or whatever, now mind you, she's in the DR and I'm in New York.
Right.
So, so who knows what she could have been doing over there? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so so she so instead of speaking with me, her husband, she
Mm-hmm.
goes to my mom, who is an elderly lady in poor health.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, my mother, God rest her soul, was pissed off.
Right.
And then she actually said to her, no, by which she did.
Mm.
And then when I found out, we had words. Because, again, look,
Okay,
because,
okay, so all right, to backtrack. You and her got married in the Dominican Republic or you got married in New York?
no, we got married in the DR, and I was going to bring her and her two children here to the US.
All right. I mean, wow. I mean, not for nothing, I'm just gonna say that it's a good thing that you kicked it off. So you got divorced in DR?
Hmm.
All right.
Yes.
So all right, because this is what I'm saying, because in certain cases, I'm just saying as far as us Dominican Americans and Dominicans abroad or whatever the case may be. I mean, it's been a scam. It's been since forever with some Dominican women. So let's just say if she did come to the United States, right?
Hmm.
And whatsoever. And all of a sudden you're here working and she was there in the Dominican Republic, right? So
Hmm.
so I'm just saying, like, from my personal view, if a woman is saying that you're cheating and everything like that, and y'all was together 2 years or whatever the case may be,
Hmm.
9 times out of 10, I'm not saying all the time, either that woman had insecurities, like my ex did, or two, she felt so guilty. She might have been having somebody else, and then felt so guilty that she actually will accuse will accuse you of cheating to make herself feel better. You know what I'm saying? Because some women, they're like, oh, if I'm cheating and then he's cheating too, oh, he deserves it. You know what I'm saying? You got some women that think like that.
Yeah.
So in that aspect, it's like it's like marriage. When you're talking about Dominican women, is like one of the biggest scams ever. I mean, I ain't gonna front. If I was to if I were to marry a woman in the Dominican Republic, she would have to be a top notch woman. You get what I'm trying to say? And she'll have to. And one of the things is, though, even though I speak Spanish, my Spanish is bad. She'll have to speak English like my mother. You know what I'm saying? Because my mother, she was one of a kind. When she, you know, like how some Dominicans they struggle with the English language as soon as they come here, like most
Yes.
people. My mother didn't have that. So well my mom actually since my mom's ethnic background was West Indian and she happened to be born in the Dominican Republic, she actually spoke both English and Spanish. So when she actually came to the United States, she actually had jobs where she spoke and everything like that.
Yes.
She actually was educated both in English and Spanish and spoke both grammatically.
Hmm.
And it was to the point that she was trying to work at a newspaper. I forgot what it's called. I know it's still in circulation. What's one of the Spanish newspaper which is in circulation?
You know what? I don't know. But before you continue, I just want to acknowledge the fact that Magic Mulata is in the chat. Good evening,
Hi, Magic
dear lady.
Mulata.
Okay. If you want to join the panel, you can. If not, I understand. Now, I know that you are married, but I would like to know, Magic, when you were single, what were some of the deal breakers you had when it came to dating? If it would be great if you can share it in the chat. Also, if there are other, I would like, if other people who are watching, if they have, what would some of their deal breakers. Okay, I would encourage you to either put it in the chat or you can join the panel because I understand some people may not be able to join the panel because they're working or they're doing household duties and what have you. Some people don't feel all that comfortable, which is perfectly fine. But it would be great if we can hear from the audience. Uh, what was some of the deal breakers that they had when they were dating? I'm sorry. Go ahead, Don Armando.
Well, as I was saying, like as far as the biggest scams and everything like that in Dominican Republic, marriage happens to be one of them because I, if a woman, if a woman was to ever, if I was in that single phase, a woman will have to speak both English and Spanish and be educated because what the I'm not saying all, but what the most things is that okay, you got some foreigners who meet a Dominican woman in the bar, they think like, oh, that's nice and everything like that, or they think that the physical interaction was great, and they start taking the woman out and such. They see that oh, she has a nice family and stuff. When the fact is that all that could be a ruse. So therefore, if a woman in Dominican Republic to try to get with me, I guess I would have to have more standards because most the rich women in Dominican Republic, they know how to speak English. Most of them they actually go to Europe and different places to actually handle business, I guess, for themselves or so or whatsoever. And most of them have a visa and drive their own cars and independent. But then if you really look at it, you have some women like, and it goes to one of my points. If I'm talking to a woman and then I hear her using our ethnic curse words like in 5 minutes to actually describe anything, I'm not gonna date that chick because I already know that if you're gonna be cursing around and everything like that, I cannot really have a conversation with you. And second, while you if you have a conversation and it's just on one thing, let's just say sex, money, sex, right? And then it shows that your level of intelligence is not there. Why should I date you? Because, no offense, but if a woman is not intelligent and you get into a relationship with her, I'm not going to go around and say, oh, I'm the most intelligent guy. But at the end of the day, if a woman is not intelligent, you're going to have a lot of problems. And I've seen this.
Okay.
So,
Uh, okay. I just want to share that Magic Malala stated that she turned out a guy because the guy was a cop, and that they have a reputation of beating women. Okay. I don't know if that is the case. I do know that some police are not all there. So it's very interesting, Magic. Um, and again, if anybody, and oh, I see we have Blazing King. Good evening, sir. How you doing tonight? The topic is what are your deal breakers? So I would like to hear from Blazing King. Um, does he have? If you have any deal breakers, if you want, you can put it in the chat. If you don't feel comfortable sharing with them, that's perfectly fine. It's all voluntary. Continue, Don Armando.
I mean, so, and then all the other stuff, I guess, which is for international relationships or whatever. I mean, that's been like a big scam since like forever. Marry and then they might have somebody on the side and such. And then after that, when you bring them over, you find out that oh, they're living a secret lifestyle, or whatever. And then you can't go and divorce them yet because they'll try to say, oh, this is a fake marriage and stuff because the immigration is very restringent on that.
Mhm.
And even here in the United States, I even had a Jamaican woman that asked me, "Oh, I want to get married to you for and I'll pay you $1,000." All right, so therefore I was being stupid, right? I mean, she was an attractive woman, but at the same time, I was not going to marry her. So she was like, "So," I was like, "So, if we get married, am I gonna get some?" She was like, "No." I was like, "So what the heck I'm getting married to you for? I know you want to get the papers, but like, come on, I gotta have some benefit, and that ain't money." I
Okay.
was just act, I was just acting stupid at that time, but at the same time, it's like if you're gonna try to have that marriage for immigration scam in New York, you're not gonna do it with me because let's say if a person was to divorce, the next thing you know, you're gonna have half of the stuff that I got, and then you didn't even work for it. So bye.
Okay. Okay. Now, Magic stated that if she ever became a single mom, that she will only date single dads. Um, you know, and that's perfectly fine. Actually, my ex-wife was a single mom, and in fact, she had two children from two different men, and she had herself fixed so she could not become pregnant. I was willing to spend the rest of my life with her, nevertheless, and of course, her children would have been my children, except it just did not work out. Now, the fact of the matter is there are some great single moms. There are some single moms that not so much, that not so great. The same thing. There's single dads that are great, and single dads are not so great. So, and people come single parents because of multiple reasons. So,
Yeah, I mean, I know guys that they're single parents because God forbid, their wife passed away,
yes,
or they become single parents because you know, or
yeah,
what, the wife didn't want to take care of the kids, or they got with the woman, and then it turned out to be a drug addict, and then she passed away, whatever the case may be, and then they have to raise the child on their own or children. So
yeah,
when there's multiple reasons and everything like that, sometimes it's funny how you got as soon as a child pass a child's parent pass and everything on how the dynamics if a father is fighting to get his children, and then the system, they want to transfer these children to people that do not love them, and but yet they have relatives that they could actually that's actually fighting for them, but yet the adoption agencies and everything like that, I don't know, I just see that it's a sham. You got certain people that I guess that they can't help their circumstances. But then if you, well, me myself, Blazing King, no, I didn't date a single mom or so because in my mind I was immature as a man to go and date a single mother because at that time I wanted a woman who didn't have kids and I didn't have either. Because where I'm from, the Bronx, if I dated a mother, a woman that had kids, then it'll be her baby father who will try to get into her life or not. And then, there's gonna be a whole bunch of big problems, which I didn't sign up for. So if I saw a woman and she wanted to get with me and she had kids, and my mindset at that time was immature. So therefore I wouldn't have date that woman anyway because I don't want problems. I mean, there's great single mothers and everything like that. They might try to have a relationship with a man that they think will treat their kids right and everything. I would treat the kids right, whatever, but my mind said at that time was I want to get my own. And if a woman has no kids or anything, I would get with her. But I didn't go and look for single women because for single mothers because I s- I saw the drama that unfolded in a lot of these relationships. But that's just my own personal thing.
Okay.
William King.
Okay. Blazing King, I was married to a single mom. Okay. Unfortunately, it did not work out. Now I'm with another single mom. The difference is she's more educated. Okay. She actually has a career. You know, she's a teacher, and she also share similar religious views that I have. And she only has one child. Okay. Now it's one thing if the lady has one child or maybe two, but when it gets to be three and you have like more than two single daddies, baby daddies,
Yeah, yeah, that's a red flag. I'm like,
oh,
get your over fertile behind on that side because I knew, and I'll tell you, I've dodged that baby father drama so much it's not even funny. When I was in my early 20s, right?
mm-hmm,
My OG was dating a chick that she was like maybe 19, 20, whatever the case may be. So I used to see my OG and this chick, just vibe out and such, and you always see them walking. Those like, oh. So one day I asked my OG because I always seen him, and he wasn't walking with this female no more. I was like, yo, so what happened to your girlfriend? He was like, nah, man, I couldn't have do that. I was like, why not, OG? She was like, yo, this chick is 20 and she has 7 kids.
what?
Yeah.
It's
So
like it. Okay, you know what it's like? It's like she started when she was 13 or 14 years old.
right. So 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 fast forward to 2014, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was a hot boy summer. I went to the Puerto Rican parade and my boy went to the Dominican parade. So
Mm-hmm.
every time I was dressed nice, I mean in the street aspect and everything, and I had my hair braided, whatever. I always had like maybe two or three females looking at me, right? And then that
Mm-hmm.
over fertile chick was looking at me all the time. And
Yeah.
it would be like certain instances I could be up in Parkchester, I could be up in Soundview, there could be a block party up in Soundview, everybody chilling. I could just eat pizza and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And 9 times out of 10, that over fertile female will always be there. Or I could be near my crib at the time, and that chick will be in the bridge. So I was like, you're not getting me. I'm not going to be your eighth baby father. You could follow me all you want. It's not going to happen. And thank God it didn't.
Well, one thing we know, I don't know, Christina. I mean, she's a single mom, but the difference is the father was killed. Okay,
Well,
so she became a single mom because because of death. So
that's
that
what I'm saying. Because you got some men who actually became widowed because of death or illness or whatever the case may be happened to their wife, or certain stuff that actually happened. So therefore, I don't fault that. But the thing is though, at my mindset and everything like that, I mean, the social dynamics or whatever the case may be, I was not ready to become the father that kids needed because my mindset was not there. My mindset was I wanted to make my own with somebody that didn't have their own, and if me and that person didn't have kids, this will be our first kid. So that was my mindset. I'm like
okay.
I'm like me personally. Shout out to all the single mothers that are holding it down and everything, but at the same time, that was not my mindset. So I just had to do what I had to do when I was single.
Well, I know a female that had three baby daddies, of which one of them was married, and she wanted to get with me, and I said no, thank you, because I didn't want to become baby daddy number four, and then having to deal with all that baby daddy drama. I mean, and again, you know, pe- people make poor choices when it comes to um, relationships and who they sleep with. Okay, and
Yeah,
that's how you have a whole bunch of baby mamas and baby daddies and whatnot. Now, I see here Magic has another comment, which is when I was single, I didn't date guys with kids. Okay, okay. Well, just to let you, just for your point of view, Magic, I have no kids, but I'm too old for you. Yeah, baby mama, baby dumb drama is a deal breaker, definitely. Okay, and the fact of the matter is, oh, okay, so you're not with the mom, with the mama or the daddy or whatever, but at least try to be civil, for the sake of the kids. Okay. And I see here we have a couple of comments, which have you guys do drugs? No, I have never done drugs. I mean, I think one time I tried pot when I was a teenager, but that was like 5,000 years ago, so to speak. And I know I had three kids. Okay, okay, but you know what? But the thing is, Magic, you have a special someone. You have your husband, so and your children have you.
yeah. Me, for blazing questions, yes, I did drugs, and I'll tell you the drugs that I did, and I'm proud to say it.
Okay.
I used alcohol and pot. So those are the only two drugs I ever touched,
Mm-hmm.
and basically that's it. Because I don't know. I've had friends and everything like that. I'm not gonna go and out there stuff. But this are two things that I don't understand. In my time, right? Oh, in my age bracket, right? During when I was in my 20s and such, I never thought that cocaine was cool.
Okay.
Neither to sell it or use it. I don't see how certain people I see who are of my age group, they're actually I've even had friends that have passed because of other drug use or whatever the case may be. Whether it be
Mm-hmm.
perk, whether it be I guess meth or what have you. Those those drugs, thank goodness I didn't use. And like around '04 and such, everybody was taking e-pills.
Mm-hmm.
So when I went to a party, my mom always told me, make sure if you have your drink around you. So I know that I was not gonna go and drink something that will get me messed up. So I always stuck to Hennessy and cranberry juice. Depending on the level that they mix it with or anything like that, okay, maybe the Henny will be strong, and then the cranberry juice is right there. But
Mm-hmm.
other than that, that was the stuff that I could say like, oh yeah, this is good, and this I could manage. I couldn't go and get too drunk or anything. At least I got some alcohol in my system, and at least I'm coherent. Because if I went up and I did the thing of Oh, you leave your drugs right there. The next thing you know, you might be waking up and you might have like an unpleasant surprise. And that was not going to happen to me. Thank
Hmm.
you to my mom. Rest in peace to her. But she always told me, like, whenever you're in the club, um, I'm not going to say my real name. But whenever you're in the club, make sure you finish your drink and don't pick up the same drink.
Hmm.
Because around that era, and I guess it still happens today, you have some jerks that don't know how to get a woman or whatever. They feel like they want to put roofies in a woman's drink or whatever the case may be. And then when a woman has an unexpected surprise that they're in this guy's house and such, the guy's gonna be facing a rape charge.
Yep.
Yeah,
Well, I remember my mother, God rest her soul, when
God
you
rest
know
her
what she's
soul.
you know what she used to say to my nephews and my nephews and whatnot. When you go outside and spend some time with the ladies, make sure that you have your you bring the party hats, if you know what I mean. Because
Yeah,
if you decided to get involved in any adult activity without taking the necessary precautions, other than getting the girl pregnant, there are STDs and AIDS that's out there.
yeah. Uh, I mean that was a given for me also because yeah, you had. I mean, I've known certain people that have STIs and it's the worst. So I dodged that as well because whenever I went to a party, I know I'm an attractive man, and I know a woman will like to take me home with them. So
Yeah.
therefore, I should have the proper equipment if I had to use it. So whenever I was in a party, I always had these two things. Always had my ID, enough cab money if I was going home, and I had my party hats because at the end of the day, you have some women, you strike up a conversation somewhere in between. She'll say that you're handsome or anything like that, and then she wanted to take you home. So I always had on my extra party hats if that occasion was to rise.
Yes. Now, another thing that's a deal breaker for me is that when you don't state what you're looking for in a relationship, because I hate it when a person says they want one thing, but then they say they want something else. Okay, like um, like if you say that you want to have a monogamous relationship, but yet you want to have a whole bunch of male friends and do a little side activity now and then. I mean, if you want to do side activity, okay, you can do it, but don't get into a relationship with me. Uh,
Yeah,
now, in, now in my family's case, we have a lot of men in our family who were womenizers, or as we would say in Spanish, mujer negro. Okay. Uh,
mujeriegos. Yeah,
in fact, I have at least one half brother somewhere, because unfortunately, my father was very attracted to the ladies and did his thing. In fact, my paternal grandfather had 26 children with 8 women.
crap.
Okay.
Your grandfather's working.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Of
just joking.
course. I mean, of course, in Puerto Rico, those were the days before you had television. I don't think they might, maybe they have a radio, if that. So it's either you drink, you play dominoes, or you get into some adult activity. And
Yeah, I
so
mean, I've had I have relatives that have, I guess, engaged in that. So it's funny because I have one relative. He's actually younger than me. So while I have no kids, he has six, literally. So I was like that, bro. He's like, yeah, man, the woman likes me. I was like, hey, more power to you.
Yeah. Um, Now, if if anyone that's watching, if you have, if you wish to share other deal breakers, you're more than free to share in the chat. And I see we have another comment from Magic, which is, let's see, that's good, Galatians. Stick to wheat. Um, you know what? I've tried pot once, and this will, I think I was about maybe 15 or 16 years old. I mean, I'm going to be 60 in 3 weeks. So that's like what, 45 years ago, maybe.
Yeah.
Of course, the youth on that day, well, they were different. But something, it's nothing new underneath the sun. I mean, nowadays, actually, in every generation, the younger generation always tell us old people that we're behind the times, that they don't, they, that we don't know what their experiences and whatnot. I hate to break it to you, but there's really nothing new under the sun. I mean, the only thing that's different, um, with the youth of today compared with the youth, say, 40 years ago, is that you have social media. So it's like every time they do something, whether it be eating, drinking, or twerking, or doing hanky panky, you see it in Facebook, you see it in Instagram, you see it in TikTok and whatnot. I mean,
I mean, it's to the point that, like, in my place of employment, you have you have females who are actually proud to be side chicks, and they post it on social media. I'm like, hey, do you? But like back in the day, a side chick knew her place. I'm just saying.
yeah, I agree. I agree. Um, Now, I'm going to put the link in the chat again. Again, if anyone wishes to join the panel, I mean, they're perfectly free to do so. Or what they can do is that they can add further comments in the chat. Because we like to get get some sort of a consensus. What are some other deal breakers that our audience have to deal with? Um, Another deal breaker I had, when a woman was too bossy.
Right.
I, I
Well,
hate it when she's bossy.
I hear you. Don Jose, I'm about to leave, but it was nice being on your panel.
Well, okay,
And
well, thank you very much. Um,
thank you.
so I think you go. When is your next live? Is it tomorrow night?
Mm, I thought it was, but I'll have to check because I might have one. I might not. So I'm trying to see. So I'm trying to actually get some of my lives together and the artists as well. So I might be in negotiations with that.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for stopping by. And I just want to let people know, if you have not done so, please subscribe to Don Armando's channel. He has some interesting topic. I'm going to ask you that you please do the same with Magic Mulata, Blazing King. And I see here we have,
Golden
oh,
Goddess.
yes. Good evening, Gigi.
Good
How are you
evening.
doing? Thank you very much for stopping by.
Yeah.
Gigi, if you feel comfortable, share what were some of your deal breakers in the past when it comes to relationships. And Donna Mano, thank you very much for stopping by.
Anytime, Don Jose.
All right, take care. So what I'm gonna do is um, I'm gonna share some information in regards to the deal breakers are concerned. Um, and we'll take it from there. Hopefully, other people will join the panel, or at least other people will share on the chat what are some of the deal breakers. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share an article um, which was written by Bonnie Ure, dated September the 28th, 2021. And it had to do with deal breakers in a relationship. So again, the topic is what are deal breakers um, as it pertains to relationships. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to share this information. Hopefully, other people will join the panel. Okay. Cultivating a healthy connection requires ongoing communication and compromise from both partners throughout the relationship. Start your relationship on a healthy path by discussing your expectations, boundaries, and deal breakers from the start. We all bring our own past experiences, okay, past experiences, points of view, and desires for our futures into our relationships. Being open and honest from the first day about what you or will or won't tolerate can help alleviate any negative behaviors before they become entrenched and difficult to change. When you begin a new relationship with authenticity, you set honesty as an expectation for the future of the relationship. Okay. Now we're just going to continue with the article. What What's a deal breaker in a relationship? Deal breakers are behaviors, values, and/or characteristics of a potential long-term partner that you fundamentally disagree with. Deal breakers are useful tools to prevent potential unhealthy behaviors, unbalanced relationship roles, or potentially dangerous situations in your relationship. Discussing your dating deal breakers in the first round and vetting out any deviations from your values and intended lifestyles and will bring you and your potential partner closer if your preferences align. Okay. While some deal breakers may allow flexibility in compromise, other seriously offending deal breakers are red flags and cannot be endured or overlooked. Any of the following violations, especially in cases that causes harm to our physical, mental, and/or emotional well-being, should be immediately addressed and eradicated by removing yourself from the relationship. So now we're going to get into physical abuse. Physical abuse should never be tolerated in any relationship and is an immediate deal breaker if your partner is physically abusive. They are enforcing power control, and other manipulative tactics to disrespect and harm you. If you can, walk away immediately. If you feel that you're unable to do it alone, reach out to a friend, family member, or professional for help. If you are experiencing any abuse and feel unable to safely remove yourself from the relationship, please outreach your local domestic violence hotline for support and safety. Okay. Yes, I agree. That is good information. And it's something that we all must bear in mind. Now, I see there are seven people currently watching this stream. And of course, the link is in the chat if you wish to join in. Now, we're going to be talking about verbal emotional abuse. Communication is an important tool in understanding your partner. Unfortunately, it can also be used as a weapon to harm, demean, threat, and control. Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much, Blazing Kings, for stopping by. Have a good night, and please be safe out there. If your partner uses language to criticize instead of correct, it is a big red flag. Listed below are some examples of how your partner may be using language against you instead of work with you. Okay. Well, you know what? It's okay. I understand that. You can always catch it on the playback. What I would do is I will continue sharing this information. Um, Perhaps someone else could join me in a panel. Okay. Or else I'll just continue speaking. Okay. Here's an example: insulting your character, calling you names, yelling, screaming, or threatening to punish and expose you. Tries to alter the past to make them look better, or using your past as an intention to hurt you, make you feel that you are always in the wrong or need to make up for hurting them. Controlling your actions, attire, routines, and contacts with family and friends. Okay. Now, this is something to bear in mind. When you are in a relationship, um, that person should accept you for what you are, and you should expect that person for who they are. Okay? No one is perfect other than God. So that's something to please bear in mind. Now we're going to get into cheating. That's a serious topic. There are many types of relationship lifestyles and non traditional relationship formats in the dating world. So it's important to discuss each other's preferences for romantic and sexual arrangements from the beginning, whether you choose to be in a monogamous, poly, or other lifestyle. Make sure to discuss expectations, boundaries, and agreements allowances on how you will navigate romantic and sexual encounters with your relationship. If your partner is breaking the rules on what you have discussed as cheating, it's a sign that they're not open and honest, which is a top deal breaker and cause for separation. Interesting. Now we're going to go into substance abuse. Addictions are historically deeply rooted and maladaptive reactions to one's journey through their life experiences, relationship, and predominantly through trauma. Substance abuse can cause enormous strain to relationship and can even become the cause of arguments and lack of quality time. If the using partner is not ready to release the hold and seek help towards recovery, the substances will always overpower and win. You do not want to be second to a mind and body altering substance. Take this as a red flag and move on. Okay, that's something to really, you really need to think about. Okay, now we're going to go into what are called personal deal, a personal deal breaker. Okay, personal deal breakers are characteristics and values that you witness in the partner that deviate from your own in a way that you are unable or uncomfortable to live with. Common relationship deal breakers can be desires for or against children practicing or relinquishing religion and differences in lifestyle preferences. So now we're going to get into common personal deal breakers. Meeting a potential romantic partner provides an opportunity to express your wants, needs, and non negotiables for the relationship from the start. Listed below are the most common deal breakers that can bring you and your new partner to discuss where you each you stand and available for compromise if there's needs of someone else that is more compatible. Wanting, not wanting kids. Children can be a top deal breaker or deal breaker for many people looking for a partner. With the rise of acceptance of different lifestyles and more access to career and educational growth, More and more people are able to choose children rather than being on expectation. While this with this new flexibility, it's become even more important to discuss your own choices against children at the beginning of a relationship so you know if you and your partner's pathways align or separate. Now that's something that's very important, okay? And you must be honest, okay? If you know in your heart of hearts you don't want children, um, whether because you have your own children or you don't feel that you are able to, be a parental figure, you need to let your potential partner know from the get-go. And then it'll be up to that person to decide whether to continue a relationship with you or go seek another person who wishes to have children. Okay. Another one is liking, disliking their friends. Being your partner's friends allow you to get an additional glimpse into your partner's world. If you like their friends and develop a comfortability around it, you will feel more confident when you meet with them for events and have more trust for your partner is out with them solo. However, if you're unable to connect, respect, or interweave yourself with your partner's social circles, it can be frustrating, isolating, and may cause future conflict when they are discussed or when you and your partner meets with them. Okay, interesting. Okay, just something to think about. Another one is different saving spending habits. Okay, finances are one of the crucial pillars of our livelihood and can also be a top deal breaker depending on your preferences. Make sure your financial habits are able to align or complement each other with by asking questions about how each other manages their financial responsibility, fund, money, and even what they are saving for. Your partner may be really more interested in possessions and you may be more interested in experiences. While differences are natural, it's important to discuss how your different lifestyles will work with or against one another. Okay. Now, here's where it can get real tricky. Different social, political, religious beliefs. Knowing your partner's preferences and affiliations can help you to understand how they navigate within their world. What are individual religious, spiritual, or otherwise beliefs? How important or not important it is to you and to them? How do your political affiliations affect you and your relationships? If you're looking for a long-term partner, be open to questioning to discover if there's compatibility, and we know strong opposing views without flexibility in these categories will be a recipe for disaster. Okay. Now here's another one: being needy or clingy. Okay. One of the issues that I had with my ex fiance, oh my goodness gracious, was she ever clingy? I mean, you would swear that we were born together, from the hip. We need our own individuality, time, and space. If you have a clingy partner, it vastly limits your ability to engage in activities within your own social circle or to find personal time alone. It can also add feelings of pressure, responsibility, and expectation to entertain and be the sole person for your partner. Always having a partner in need is exhausting and one of the most common undesirable personality traits to have in a partner. Interesting. Now we're going to get into lack of aspiration. Now let's see what that's about. Aspiration guides you into your desired direction for a better well being. When we see our partner moving towards their aspirations, we find them more desirable because we witness them being more confident and more assured in their sense of self. It can be very deflating to have a partner that is unable to move towards their independent aspirations or unable to tap into their own uniqueness. If you're looking for a goal getting mate, someone without a plan may be a deal breaker for you. Okay. Another one. You can't trust them. Trust in a relationship is crucial. It exhibits and provides respect, reliability, and confidence for okay for and with each other. A healthy relationship is nourished by your dependability on your partner and reasonably excessive supportive person in the relationship. It is a huge warning sign if you cannot trust your partner and can cause future strife and resentment in your relationship. Okay, here's another issue: stubbornness, unwilling to compromise. We'll bring our own individual and preferences into relationship. Take notice if your partner is stubborn, stuck in their ways, or uninterested in your point of view. If you met are met with a partner who is unable or unwilling to compromise, you can anticipate rigid conflict, and that's a big deal breaker. Um, Now, one thing to bear in mind, okay, when you get involved with or try to get involved with someone, you do need to have a certain amount of flexibility, and the fact of the matter is, there's nothing wrong if there's some differences, okay? In fact, differences can spice up a relationship if they have the proper understanding, okay? So just bear in mind. And I know for my case, since I love cold, therefore, if I get involved with someone who loves heat, I'm going to have to be tolerant regarding heat, okay? And that's reality. So now we're going to be dealing with poor communication. Connection is one of the pivotal advantages of being in a relationship. By being unable to communicate, you will definitely be unable to connect. If you're feeling unheard or unable to understand your partner, you will have a hard time discovering each other and planning for your future. Additionally, differing communication styles such as tone and verbiage can be hot buttons for re-triggering. Take notice of your behaviors and look for flexibility and compromise. If there's not, find a different mate who will match you better and for you. Okay, interesting. Now here's another thing that can harm a relationship: unwilling to try new things. We are filled with more and more access to the ever growing world around us. Many of us want to experience it. Couples report that the top quality that they appreciate about their partner is their love for traveling and having new experiences together. If you and your partner share differing views on trying new things, you may be spending a lot of time apart. Evaluate if this is a deal breaker for you or if you don't mind having mostly solo adventures. Okay. Uh, Here's another thing. Different diets preferences. Have you ever been stuck in a cycle for looking for restaurants that not only match your dietary needs but also your partner? It can be really difficult to find a place that checks out all the boxes. So make sure you discuss eating habits with your partner to see if you're a match or you'll be endlessly scrolling. It is important to remember that some food practices can be immediate deal breakers in relationships such as vegan, vegetarian, or carnivorous diets. Check in with your partners to see if there's any potential sources of contention. and complications when reviewing the menu. Okay, now here's another issue: spending too much time on social media. We want to feel chosen, not just an option, but the one who was picked. When we notice our partner is spending too much time scrolling down articles, playing mindless games, or even engaging in online arguments, we become second to the electronic. While it can be too much TV, too much Instagram, or too much video games, please remember that you have time to pause and spend intentional and meaningful moments with each other. Make sure that your time together or make your time together or make the break so someone who can put your phone down for you. Okay. And right now we have 5 people watching this stream. And again, I just want to let everybody know that if you have any deal breakers, you're more than welcome to share it in the chat. Also, the link is there if you wish to join the panel. Now, here's another issue: long distance. Sometimes we need some distance, but too much can create disconnection and falling out. Long distance is not just dating someone from another state, it also the ability of your partner to spend time with you. Ask about your potential partner's routines. If they travel a lot for work, if they spend a lot of time with family or friends, if they can make the time spent with you. This is especially important to take notice when you're finding a partner online through dating apps. If you know that distance is a deal breaker, find out from the beginning to save yourself a constantly comparing calendars. Okay. And now we're going to go to works too much. As much as your significant other may say that money will solve all the issues, the main perpetrator in a partner that works too much is a loss of quality time. We want our partner to want to spend time with us now, and working for a future that is not guaranteed can make us feel set aside. Waiting for the ideal moment when there's enough money to relax, but there never will be. If you're looking for adventure, connection, and quality time in your long term relationship, someone who works too much may not be it. And I see here we have Reese from Philly. Good evening, sir. How are you doing tonight? I hope you're doing well. If the topic is what are deal breakers, so if you have any, it'd be great if you could share it with us and with the audience. So now we're going to go into different sex drives. Partners that have mismatched sex drives may find it harder to find appropriate times to be intimate with each other and may need to work smarter to find ways to connect. Um, Asking deliberate questions about preferences, kinks, and styles will help you to attune or dissuade you from potential mate. Listen are a few preferences questions to ask your potential partner. How often do you like to have sex? How often is frequency and duration? What time of the day do you feel most intimate? Do you enjoy foreplay, cuddling after? Do you feel comfortable communicating during? Okay. Doesn't prioritize you. Feeling special and appreciative are at the top of the advantages of being in a romantic relationship. If your partner is putting other needs before your own, it can be a red flag that your partner know when and where you're feeling less important and work towards finding more ways to integrate with each other. If unable to find a way in, you might need to make your way out of a relationship. So constant fighting, unwillingness to resolve the conflict. Okay, let me just grab something. Just for your information, I'm drinking juice. Okay. Your time is valuable and it shouldn't be spent constantly arguing with your partner, especially if they fight dirty. When they experience consistent rigidity and the inability to break through with your partner, you won't be able to feel connection and the space you bring yourself into the relationship. Now we're going to talk about uncomfortable being yourself. Comfortability is one of the top aspects that people look when they're searching a potential partner. You must be able to feel at ease around with your partner so that you are able to be your best and most authentic self. Other potential outcomes that can result from being uncomfortableness around your significant other can include being in a bad mood, having a bad sex, and experiencing rigidity, physicality, mentally, and emotionally. Okay. Now we're going to be talking about cleanliness, bad breath, poor hygiene, can't see the floor from home. Cleanliness is one can be a hard boundary for some people in their homes. So taking a trip to a potential partner's pad to check out and compare cleaning styles can save you a lot of arguments. Maintain basic levels of cleanliness improves self-respect and give and good mental health, both which are highly valued qualities that people look for in a partner. Compromise is key to avoiding deal breakers. A compromise is an act of respect. When it is given and received in the beginning stages of a relationship, it can a give relief for the long run. Partners that can compromise feel more able to adjust in line with one another and report feeling more on the same page. If you think your relationship needs more compromise, consider talking to a relationship expert during. Okay, so, so let me just during couples counseling. That could be a great way to introduce the concept of level ground. Make sure that you're aware of the areas of flexibility in these deal breakers and be honest with your new partner on where there is room for compromise. Okay. Some things never will never change. It is important to be aware that our deal breakers exist on a spectrum and that flexibility and compromise are ideal, but not guaranteed. If you're experiencing constant rigidity, weigh your options to see if the deal breakers or the behaviors can be adjusted or move on to the next relationship. So, this is some interesting things that we're discussing. Okay. Um, of course, a great deal that I shared. Um, we talked about earlier in the stream with myself and Don Armando. Okay, it's very important from the beginning that you share with your potential partner what it is that you're looking for, what you expect. Okay, once you make it clear what you expect in the relationship, what are your wants and then your partner or better yet, your potential partner will decide whether or not to pursue a romantic relationship with you or choose someone else. It's preferably better uh, to deal with with the facts, explain what you're looking for as far as in the relationship and what are deal breakers, than to hide and not show not show your true feelings, because then what happens is becomes issues later on. Okay, so I'm gonna share. I come across another article. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna share this article regarding 11 of the biggest deal breakers. Okay, and then at that point, let's see. Just give me a moment. And again, okay. So this is an article that was dated November the 4th, 2019, and is written by Lakeisha Panda. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share this article, and then if no one else wishes to join the panel, we'll start to wrap it up. Okay. When you're considering the type of partner you want in your life, there are plenty of things that you may want make your list. From their sense of humor to their looks to the way that they treat you, everyone has some sort of picture of who they classify as the ideal mate. But just as there's specific things that we look for in the person that we're dating to have, there are things that we hope they never encounter too. Although everyone's list of deal breakers may not be exactly the same, there are a few things that many of us can probably agree on. Here are some of the biggest deal breakers to compare with. Regardless of how, okay, okay. Number one, they won't address the issues that you present. Regardless of how long you've been with that person, one of the most important things in relationship is ensuring that both you and your partner are happy. So if you found yourself in a predicament where your comfort is put in jeopardy and your partner is doing nothing to rectify the issue, psychologist Darrell Bushman told Insider that this could be definitely be something to drive your relationship to its end. When you first started dating, you felt connected and were having a great conversation that was very stimulating and so nourishing, she said. Over time, you begin to feeling disconnect. The disconnect may not be the concern. It's your partner's aloofness, inability, or unwillingness to discuss what is the discomfort is. If you are approached by the topic and your partner becomes guarded or even defensive, this could be a deal breaker. Communication is fundamental. Okay. So next thing is they change their mind about having kids with you. Another important topic that should be discussed before deciding to go the long haul with a potential mate is whether or not you are say the sick kid. Okay, I'm sorry. It is whether you see kids in your future together. But if one of you has second thoughts or is totally different side that you are, according to Bushman, that should be totally a deal breaker. Another big deal breaker is someone changing their stance on having kids with you. She said, if you wish to have children while your partner already has children, or even if you're both childless and there were initial openings to create a family together, but after some time decide against, this can be crushing. They may seem great on paper and even convince you that they can make do without children for a bit. After a while, however, you may realize that the lack of flexibility on your partner is more than just not wanting more children. A real and lasting relationship will find compromise. Here's another thing that could harm a relationship. They have the tendency of cancel plans at the last minute. If few things are worse than making plans with someone and then having them cancel at the last minute. And if they repeat offender just happen to be the person that you are in a relationship with, it could very well be the reason why you're considering ending things with them. Having spontaneity in a good relationship is good. But if your guy or gal is always canceling at the last minute to do something that just came up, that's a deal breaker. Matchmaker Bonnie Watson told Insight. It shows that they do not respect your time, your plans, and your interests. For example, if a person blows you up without much notice, it's something like a sports thing with their friends, that is a deal breaker. You are not on the same page when it comes to finances. Again, these topics continue to rise up. During the initial dating phase, your partner chooses to spend their money may not be that, big of a deal. If you start to grow and grow in your relationship, however, it could become more and more of a focal point. And if you're not on the same page, it can cause a lot of friction. Now, be close to or on the same page concerning spending money is a deal breaker and cannot get over the strain of finances, Winston said. Additionally, some people feel constantly cheap with everything. Bad tipping or rudeness or one, in case of generous in other areas. They're showing lack of interest, although it seems like a simple thing to know. As a deal breaker, many people ignore these signs when they deal with a lack of interest of their partner, and according to Winston, may not always be simple to spot as you think. If one partner makes the other person feel unattracted, divvies out criticism of the way one dresses, comments on weight, and other things like that, it can come up as not they're not interesting. She told Inside. Likewise, if the one person that always talks about themselves and never shows an interest in you, your life, your job, your friends, or your family, that can probably should be seen as a deal breaker. Okay. You don't have the same values. When you choose a partner, you should consider all aspects of a person, and that includes comparing their values. Do they see eye on values and integrity, ambition, love, and family, and other things important to you? Attraction and chemistry are great, but what happens when looks fade and the spark wears off? Richard D'Amato, a Match.com relationship expert, told Insider, if your potentially partner differs significantly on a core value, the relationship is doomed. When they get into fight, get upset, they fight dirty. D'Amato also said that if you are the, uh, that talks down to you or treats you poorly when you are having a disagreement, You may want to consider the reason behind the continuing of the relationship. Everyone gets angry on occasion. Sometimes we say terrible things we don't mean, she explained. The deal breaker arises, however, when people get nasty during an argument. Name calling, gaslighting, and failing to listen are all traits that lead to misery in a relationship. It is important to note that these can also be signs of a potential abusive relationship. Your partner should never make you feel unsafe, and if they do, exiting the relationship be done with care and potentially with help of professional and loved ones. Okay, here's another issue that aren't over the ex. Although you may be super into someone, they're still hung up on someone else. You shouldn't let that slide. You know, when someone is still stuck in the past, Diato said, the emotions are still high when they're talking about positive or negative. Often they won't even admit they aren't ready, but rationalize it anyway. There is no sense of vision. Okay. For many people, lack of ambition or drive in a partner can be a huge turnoff. That doesn't mean that it's a deal breaker for everyone. But according to relationship expert and dating advisor Jeffrey L. Miller, it should be. Being a very determined, successful person and pairing with someone who is content can be detrimental to any relationship, he said. There's a history of abuse with you or with someone else. Whether physical, mental, emotional, sexual, if you hear someone being abused, it may seem like it's an easy fix, just leave. Unfortunately, though, Judy Ho, psychologist and author, stopped self sabotage told Insider that it's not easy at the scene, nor is it simple to notice that it's happening. Physical or sexual abuse are absolute deal breakers in a relationship and occur more often than one might think. It is something together despite is psychological or emotional abuse. Sometimes this occurs alongside physical and sexual abuse, but sometimes it can occur in isolation. She continued, emotionally abuse can be extremely damaging. Some examples include extreme control by tracking your whereabouts, demanding that you don't spend time without them, and telling them that you're no good, with this and nothing without them. It can break down the, to the point when they don't believe they deserve any better and therefore continue in an abusive relationship. If you if this happened in your relationship, it could be a deal breaker. There is a constant denial of substance abuse or problem or refusal to get help. Um, to be okay, that's really self-explanatory. So, in short, there are many things that could be considered deal breakers. Okay, and what may be a deal breaker for some, it may not be a deal breaker for others. But you cannot base yourself based on others. You have to base on what is considered comfortable for you. Okay, because when everything is said and done, you're the one that deals with the relationship. Okay, that's something to bear in mind. Now, it's again, I do apologize. Just with the changing of time that we were supposed to go on, and perhaps most people will catch this on the playback. So that being said, now this Saturday, okay. Now I'm scheduled to have what I call open discussion, and basically for the benefit of those of you who are not familiar, open discussion, that means we can talk about virtually anything and everything. So what I will do is I will prepare a couple notes to talk about. I will also extend an invitation to those who wish to join the panel. I will try to make sure that we do start on time, okay? Because first of all, I do owe it to my audience. Um, they do deserve to start on time. No, no, okay. So that's something to bear in mind. Um, Again, the reason why it may be a little fluid as far as starting time and also the date is because lately I've been working overtime, trying to earn some extra money. Okay, so hopefully by tomorrow, I will know, regarding whether we're going to stick with um, our 5 o'clock schedule for Saturday or change it or maybe have it on another day. Now, this coming Tuesday, uh, I'm going to be having a discussion in regards to suicide is not the solution. Um, Now, I didn't know this until earlier this week, but September is Suicide Prevention Month. So, of course, the whole purpose is to focus on um, what we do to prevent people from committing suicides. Okay, because it is a serious topic. Now, I do plan to have a co-host who will share with us her experiences dealing with thoughts of suicide, which is the one and only Keisha Smith. So it will be a serious discussion. I thought about closing the panel. I don't think I'll do so, but I am going to ask the following, okay? Which is please do not embarrass and shame those who wish to share their own personal experiences as it pertaining to thoughts of, of depression and thoughts of suicide. So, and also, let's be understanding and let's be sympathetic with those who wish to share. And also, I want to make it perfectly clear. If anyone, and I repeat, anyone does not feel comfortable in sharing their own personal stories when it deals with depression and suicide, they're not obligated to do so. Okay? However, I would encourage them to watch the stream so they will be better prepared to deal with the subject. Okay? Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop the link one more time. Okay? And just for the benefit of those of you who are coming in right now, the topic is what are your deal breakers? Okay. In other words, what are those habits, beliefs, thoughts, words, actions that you cannot deal with in a potential partner? Okay. And in any case, I do appreciate all of you who have been patient with me with with the constant changing of when the stream was supposed to go live. Again, as I said it before, I had some technical difficulties, which I had to resolve. So, now what's going to be the topic for Thursday, next week? That I do not know. Okay. I sure have a more definitive answer by my next stream. What's going to be the topic? Because I do like to prepare a couple of days ahead of time. And when I mean prepared, in other words, prepare my notes and look into articles and look into different resources so I can educate myself as far as the topic is concerned, other than just using Google. Okay. So I just want to thank all those who appeared on the chat, which was Reese from Philadelphia, Gigi, Magic Mulata, Blazing King. Also want to thank Don Armando, who actually appeared on the platform for a while. So, being that there's no one else is going to join the panel, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you my final words on the topic. When it comes to deal breakers, we need to individually think about what are certain things that we will not tolerate in a potential partner. And we need to be honest in regarding those topics. We need to be honest regarding what are those things that we cannot accept in a relationship. And be mindful. You can get 10 people together. You're going to get 10 different sets of deal breakers. And there's no wrong, there's no right answer. What's important is you need to be honest with yourself and honest with your potential partner in regarding what are those deal breakers. What are those things that you are not willing to deal with in a relationship? So that being said, what I'm going to do is we're going to close. And of course, I'm going to ask, one more time, please subscribe to the channel if you have not done so. Please hit the bell notification to all. So therefore, whenever I do prepare content, you will have the opportunity to either catch it live or catch it on the playback. And I thank you very much. I have a feeling more people will be watching this stream in the playback. And of course, after the stream is over, people are encouraged to leave any comments. Okay. I would appreciate it, however, if the comments have something to do with the topic in hand. And if you're not going to have anything positive or constructive to comment on, don't feel obligated to comment. Keep those thoughts to yourself. In any case, this has been another episode of Uncommon Sense with Jose Negron. And I just want to say thank you very much. Take care and peace.
Be strong. Be strong.